Hey guys, Ty Lord here with a pickups video for the month of August. I picked up a few movies I want to discuss for the month of August. Not too many video games. I have been playing quite a few video games in my library, but I haven't picked up too many of them this month. Trying to cut back on that. Try to play through some of the games I have in my library that I've accumulated over the past a few years. Also, I don't want to. Also, the selection has been kind of slim. I haven't been finding many out at the shops or anywhere thrift stores, just like everyone else. So I got to move on to something else that's easier to collect for, and that is VHS trash. Yeah, and I don't spend much money on these, so I don't feel very guilty with my collecting addiction. Usually I just pick up stuff I want to discuss in these movies, so it works out for me. And I'm eventually going to make my man cave. I've been talking about that for years. To make my man cave that looks like a video store. Set up all my favorite VHS tapes out there. But who knows if I'll ever get to that. If not, I probably will be able to make some money off of these if I sell them on eBay. I kind of want to keep them though. Anyway, I'll start off with a VHS, or I'll start off with a video game I got. Then we'll move on to VHS and then DVDs and Blu-rays. I have a lot of movies to talk about. I've been watched quite a few good movies this month. First thing, I'll start off with a game I got. Didn't have this in my library. Super Mario Kart. Or no, it's Mario Kart 64. That's the correct title. Probably the first Mario Kart I really acquired a liking for. My little brother got an N64 one Christmas, and my whole family was playing this. It was a fantastic game. My dad, who's usually not a gamer, got into this pretty good too. So this is probably my favorite Mario Kart that I look back on the most fondly, or I think of the most. So I wanted to have this, a copy of my daughters and I could play. My big girl, Iris, the other day we went to a pizza buffet arcade. We have them here in California. They're called John's Incredible Pizza. I took her there and we played Fast and the Furious, the arcade machine that's set up where you can play like 2 or 3 at once, or 2 or 3 steering wheels there. And she actually got first place on that. I was trying and I got second place. So I don't know if it's just one of those games where you just can put the pedal to the metal and the car just keeps flipping over. It just keeps going. It's not like it ever stops. But I think she did pretty good because I was trying and I got second place, but she got first. So I'm thinking she might be into racing games. And I think what better racing game to play than this? I think she would probably get down on this because the controller is so cute looking, the N64. I guess we could play it on the new systems and all that. I was just thinking this would be the way to go. They don't have to worry about it loading up or anything. We just put it in there and play it. I got this from my buddy Alex over from DG. He goes by DGC, Dat Game Collector, who's been a buddy of mine on YouTube for many years. We've done a lot of trades, been in text groups for many years. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. Go check him out if you haven't already. Does a lot of video game collecting videos, collection videos, live streams, video games a lot. I got that from him. We did a little trade. I sent him some games. I don't think they're quite worth what this is, so that's generous of him to give me this. He recently got a nice little lot of N64 games, and that was one that he had doubles of. So I guess I'll get on to the movies now. I got a lot of good ones to talk about. Okay, over at Retro VHS World on Instagram. I buy stuff from him a lot. He has stuff for very cheap. I think this was $1 or not much more, maybe a couple of bucks. I got Night of the Warrior with Lorenzo Lamas. One of those I guess it's straight to video. I don't remember it ever being out at the show. Kind of a high I think the production of it looks pretty good. Like it could have been out at the show, but I'm not sure. It's directed by someone named Rafael Zelinsky. It's kind of a different type of these martial arts action movies from the 90s. I love that genre, renting these back in the day. Like all of the PM Entertainment stuff and the like Albert Pune movies and David Worth movies. I just love like all the with the stars like Cynthia Rothrock and Billy Blanks and Lorenzo Lamas here, or Gary Daniels or Olivier Gruner. Who else? There was a ton of good ones back in the straight-to-video martial arts action stars back then. Lorenzo Lamas was up there. He was one of the best. Like I think he's a second-generation actor, so he's got the acting chops, but he also like super good at martial arts. Pulls it off really good in the movies. This one's very interesting. It seems like the director was going into super artsy direction. Typical stuff where the guy's forced to fight. Lorenzo is like a freelance, no, not really a photographer. He more is like he more like takes pictures in an artsy way. Like he's a photographer, like an artist type of photographer, and he has some kind of connection with this strip club that's run by this older lady. I think she's a classic actress. I can't think of her name right now. Arlene Dahl maybe is the actress. She runs this strip club with all these exotic dancers, all these ladies putting on these little strip shows, and they're always really weird themed, like it's some weird artsy statement, and all of the little strip routines in this. It's a really bizarre movie. Like it's kind of an artsy type movie. Anyway, I think he's associated with this club, and he's trying to pay off the debt to the club to a mobster. The head bad guy in this is, that actor's name is Anthony Geary, and he looks so darn familiar. I go, who is this guy? He's the scumbag gangster that Lorenzo Lamas pays off. Lorenzo Lamas does these street fights, underground street fights that they bet on. And he finally fights enough where he pays off his debt, the club's debt. So he pays this guy off. And his main henchman is old Ken Foree from Dawn of the Dead and from the Beyond. What else is he been in? A lot of things. He's in some of the Rob Zombie movies. It's cool to see Ken Foree in there. So he finally pays his debt off, but they still want him to fight because they're making all this money off of him, but he refuses. So then they start to blackmail him, and they don't want to let him go. But he says, no, I don't want to fight anymore. And he goes around, it's a weird movie. He goes around and takes pictures of homeless people. He goes to this cute girl that works at the cafe, who also works at the art gallery. And she's played by, what's her name? Kathleen Kilmont, who's been in a lot of Lorenzo Lamas movies. She's kind of like a tall, skinny girl, really pretty, but really athletic body. She was in the CIA, Codename Alexis, and CIA 2 Target Alexis. She was in those movies with Lorenzo Lamas. She's like his love interest in this, and she has like a boyfriend on the side that's like a college professor that's a real douchebag. It's a weird movie. Anyway, getting back to the mob boss is this guy, Greary. What's his name? Anthony Geary. Like, who is this guy? It's the guy that plays Philo from UHF. You know, the mad scientist looking guy that works at the TV station, and he's actually an alien from outer space. It's that guy is the villain. So they keep trying to pull him back in. So they end up killing one of the strippers at the club that he's buddies with. And they end up capturing his girlfriend and blackmailing him to fight because I think his name is Mr. Lynch, the guy that he plays. He owes a debt to like the Japanese mobsters. The head Japanese mobster is the guy from Karate Kid 2, the older guy. So they really want this guy to fight for him. It just goes on from there. So it's like one of those typical 90s martial arts underground fight movies, but like all these different weird layers of artsy stuff and a strip club. There's usually strip clubs and stuff in movies like this, but this one's like really artsy spin on it. I thought it was kind of entertaining and fun. So I got that one. I just talked about that damn thing for like 5 minutes. Okay, and then another guy, I ordered a tape off of I ordered a videotape from on Instagram. Is Wizard Has Wares. I actually just met him. He did a podcast on the Retrowave podcast that El Tiburon does, where we talked about VHS store memories. But it's actually the same guy I just got a video from. Got this for dirt cheap. I had to have this in my collection. Virtual Combat with Don the Dragon Wilson. Well, I forgot to mention him about the 90s martial art guys. He's one of my favorites. Straight to video movie action stars. So I got this one from him. This is not, I can't find this anywhere I don't think it's available in North America on DVD. I think I saw one copy on eBay, and it was like $100 for the freaking DVD. I think you can only get the laser disc from foreign regions. So this thing, I think it's easily available on VHS. Virtual Combat, kind of like a rip-off, or it's kind of like a mixture of Virtuosity with Denzel Washington and Mortal Kombat. It's about Don the Dragon Wilson's a cop or whatever, and he plays this video game where he goes in there, and it's like a martial arts game, and he fights. He's always trying to get to the last boss. The last boss is really tough. And the actor that plays the last boss is old. I see him in a lot of these 90s martial art movies. I can't think of his name right now, but he was the main guy in Shoot Fighter 1 and 2. He was in a couple other Don the Dragon Wilson movies. He's a good martial arts guy. He kind of plays like a Shao Kahn type character. Like he's the final boss in this game. He's super tough. He has a mask, and he always talks trash like, "You're pathetic. That's the best you have." Like he taunts him kind of like how Shao Kahn does. So anyway, the evil corporation that runs this virtual stuff. They're tied into the story. I don't want to give too much of it away because you got to go watch it. Anyway, but this bad guy inside the game kind of gets incarnated as a real human. Like he escapes the video game universe and goes into the real universe, and he's a super baddie. So it's kind of like Virtuosity, where Russell Crowe comes out. Only this guy's like a martial artist. He's going around breaking people's necks and spin kicking everyone. So this is a fun movie. One of the baddies in here, one of the bad guys is Lauren Avedon, who's another cool movie martial artist, like super underrated. He was in A King of the Kickboxers. He was the star of that, and he was in No Retreat, No Surrender 2 and 3, among a lot of other movies I like. But Lauren Avedon's one of the baddies in this. Yeah, there's like I think she's like a virtual like pleasure program or something. When the girls that he gets with. There's all kinds of action and all kinds of sexiness in these wonderful 90s movies. Speaking of the Dragon, here's the original movie Dragon, or based on Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, the legend of Bruce, the Bruce Lee story, Dragon. This is a cool movie from the 90s, kind of like a drama based on Bruce Lee's life. It has Lauren Holly in there, plays his wife. And who else is in here? Robert Wagner plays his agent. Kind of just follows the story of Bruce Lee. So you see a lot of the movies he worked on at the time, little scenes from that. I don't know how accurate this is to reality, but I enjoyed it. It's a fun movie, cool drama. I think, who was the director of this? Thinking it was, Robert Cohen. Nice movie, nice soundtrack too, wonderful music. More martial arts here. Love it. I can't believe I found this at Rasputin's for $1. Kickboxer, the original one. My man David Worth directed this. He's friends with me on Instagram. I feel blessed. Yeah, David Worth film with our boy Jean-Claude Van Damme. This is probably in my top 10, if not my top 5 Van Damme movies. And his childhood friend, Michelle Kesey, plays Tong Po, one of the most iconic movie villains ever. And these guys were buddies in real life ever since childhood. So they have great chemistry on the scene, on the movie. Yeah, this is like one of the movies that started the big like kickboxing martial arts crazes of the 90s. Love this movie. I think Bloodsport's my favorite, but this one comes pretty close. And I think that's it for the VHSs. They thank God, Ty Lord. Okay, so let's get on to the old DVDs. Okay, I'm gonna do this in a specific order here. Okay, I got a way to transition some of the talking points here. Okay, I was super happy to find this movie. My boy and I, Tight White, have been always into the shark movies. I don't know if I got him into that or he was always into them, but I've always loved shark movies because, like, Jaws is my favorite movie. This is a movie that he picked up and he recommended it to me, Cyclone. It's a disaster movie, kind of like a hurricane slash a plane crash slash people stranded out on the ocean slash shark movie. Really good drama, really hard to watch. Like, these poor people are set in a really bad predicament in this movie. It's a Mexican made movie, but I think it was made for international audiences. So it's all either acted in English or Spanish, but the Spanish is dubbed over in English. Some of the actors in there, it's got Arthur Kennedy, Carol Baker, Lionel Strander, and also saw, what's his name, Hugo Stiglitz from Nightmare City and that other shark movie, Tintorera. I know he was in, oh yeah, there he is right there. And also Mario Almada, the big time Mexican actor that El Tiburon's always talking about. He's actually in this, and he plays a really cool character in this. I love the characters. These poor people are there's just a hurricane or a storm, and it destroys a plane goes down, like a passenger plane that crashes in the ocean. A bunch of maybe like 10 or 20 of the people survive. They get out of the plane. Meanwhile, there's this tour boat going around, and that thing's in bad shape. There's people stranded on there. They're short on food. They're short on water. They're praying for rain. The survivors of the plane end up coming on board with them, and they don't want any part of that because they already have short amount of supply of food and water as it is, but they ended up all working together. These poor people are in such a bad predicament, and no one knows they're out there, and the search parties are about to give up. Really good drama. There's all kinds of terrible shark attacks in this. They look freaking gross. Like a lot of people get chomped on by sharks. All the different personalities, different people on this surviving on this boat, their personalities all clash, and you really feel for them. Like, at one point it starts raining and you feel so good for them. They finally get water. I really recommend this movie, Cyclone. I wish I remembered the name of the director. The terror storm was only the beginning, but the sharks would be the merciless end. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of gory shark moments in that. Maybe that's the only shark movie I picked up. Okay. I'll go on to this one. Did I miss one? Thinking I picked up one more. Oh, here it is. Oh, I don't want to leave this one out. Okay, Cannonball Run. I don't think I had that. Great cross-country race adventure movie with Burt Reynolds. I think Dom DeLuise was in there too. Sammy Davis Jr. Oh, the lovely Adrienne Barbeau is in there. Oh, yeah. Jackie Chan's in it. I think he's in the Japanese race team. Like, they have this high-tech race car. Jamie Farr's in there. Terry Bradshaw's in it. Wow. Dean Martin's in it. A big cast. Fun adventure comedy movie. Who else was in here? Yeah, it looks like it's got special... Oh, it's got a commentary with director and producer. Cool. So I had to get that. I'm not crazy about these cardboard style DVD cases, but it'll have to do. Oh, yeah, Roger Moore. I forgot to mention Roger Moore is in here. That's probably like the reason why I like this movie the most, because he's like my favorite actor. And he plays a character that pretends like he's Roger Moore, like he thinks he's Roger Moore. And he goes around in an Aston Martin and dresses up like James Bond, even though Roger Moore never drove an Aston Martin in the movies, but his character does. So it's cool to see Roger Moore like with a James Bond get up inside of a Aston Martin. Funny movie. Yeah, Sammy Davis is in there. Oh yeah, there's old Dom DeLuise. All right. Okay, a couple of movies from my past that I was just thinking about in my head. Like, I haven't seen those in forever. Like, they were some of like the first movies I'd ever seen in my life. Like the earliest memories I've had. One of them is Paper Moon with Ryan O'Neal and his daughter Tatum O'Neal. And Madeline Kahn is in it. A lot of the actors from Blazing Saddles are in here. The guy that plays Higgins is in here. I can't think of his name. Oh, and Randy Quaid is in here. Paper Moon is a fantastic movie. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I highly recommend it. Directed by Peter Bogdanovich. Great. It was in the drama section. I'm thinking it's a little bit more of a comedy, but it's definitely a drama. A really good movie. This is like one of the first movies I ever remember seeing. Like, my grandparents were watching it. And it's set like in the 30s, or it might have been like during the Great Depression. But it's a period piece. It looks like it's when I was a kid, I thought this was a movie that was made in the 30s. It was black and white, but it's made in the 70s. But it has that really authentic like 30s look, or maybe the 20s. It might be the Great Depression. Great. Really cool movie. There's some stupid dog over here. Now it's peeing on the car. Get out of here, pup. Go, pup. Okay. Oh, Paper Moon. So basically, this guy, I forget the character's name. He's played by Ryan O'Neal. He's a con man. It's crazy the shady thing this guy does. He goes around from town to town. He looks in the obituaries and finds a man who just died, and he'll get a Bible and he'll print the guy's name on it and take it to the house where the widow is, and he'll be like, "Oh, is Mr. So-and-so here?" And the wife will be like, "Oh, he died a couple months ago," and then this guy will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that." Well, he ordered. Oh no, he would have his wife's name printed on the Bible. He says, "Oh, he had this Bible sent to someone named Mary, whatever. Is that you?" He says, "Oh yeah." He said, "Well, don't worry about it. I'll take it back." And then the wife will be like, "No, I'll buy it." He already he didn't pay for it yet, but he said he was going to pay on arrival. And she said, "Oh, I'll pay." It's like a lot of money, like $5 or $10 back then. So he would go around to town and do that to con poor widows out of their money. And then he meets he meets up with these people that hand this girl off to him, this little girl, and she's you don't know if it's his daughter, like a one night stand type thing, like maybe the mom died. You don't really know if it's his daughter or someone that he's looking after, and she doesn't know who he is. But you kind of have an idea like that's his daughter. She's a little con artist too, so he brings her in. It's kind of like they start conning people together. Madeline Kahn is in it. She's like Madeline Kahn. Yeah, he's like his love interest in this. I think she's a dancer or something. It's been a while since I've seen it. Like I said, I was really young when I first saw this, and it had a big impact on me. Like my grandparents like loved this movie. And then when I was like around in my 20s, I rewatched it. Like, man, this movie's good. So it's been a while since I've seen it, but I had to get that to give it another watch. Here's one that I have not seen since I was 6 years old or whatever, or 5 or whatever. White Nights with Gregory Hines and this guy, some kind of foreign, Mikhail Baryshnikov. And I guess he's a ballet dancer. Like, he's a super good ballet dancer. And it's kind of like a cold world thriller dancing movie. I remember my parents loved Gregory Hines. Like, I remember he was the tap dance guy. I know he's a big actor, but that's when I was a kid, that was like the big tap dance guy. Like, he was always a tap dancer. But I remember they watched this movie, like they rented it, and I thought it was pretty lame. Like, oh, these fruity, I don't want to watch some movie about a bunch of fruity dancers. I think what's her name's in here. One of them is, his wife is Helen Mirren, that hot English woman's in here. And then also that hot Italian girl. Oh, Isabella Rossellini's in it. This is like he's a homeboy's I got to get back to you on this because I haven't seen it in a long time, but I guess he's like a ballet dancer from Russia, and he's in a plane, and the plane crashes over Russia, and they capture him and bring him back to Russia. Like, I don't know if he defected or whatever, and they force him to stay there or something, and he meets up with Gregory Hines, who lives there in Russia, I guess. I don't really know much about it, but I think it's like a thriller with a bunch of tap dancing and ballet dancing thrown into it. And I remember like my parents watching this, so I got to give it a try now. Directed by Taylor Hackford. I remember it's the first time I heard that song. They had a music video, and the song was attached to this movie. What is that song? Oh, I can't think. It was one of those was it a Lionel Richie song? I see his name there. Lionel Richie. Say you, say me, say it for always. That's the way it should be. Say you, say me. I remember that's the first time I heard this song was like on a music video related to this, and it's in like a montage in this movie or something. I gotta rewatch this. I think I would like it now when I'm adult. Okay, so I'm already 28 minutes, and I'm going to run out of room on this. Okay, so my buddy PMM over at DVDs, Nuts, and Popcorn are going to do a memorial discussing legendary director that just passed away, William Friedkin. We're going to do like a memorial tribute, a live stream dedicated to him, and we're going to discuss all of his movies in backward order, I guess he wants to do. So I got to catch up on my William Friedkin filmography. I got to watch the ones I hadn't seen. I got to rewatch some of the ones I have seen, so I can discuss more on it or be more knowledgeable in the conversation. We're looking for people to join us. If anyone's a William Friedkin scholar, jump in there. If you have any suggestions about someone who might be good with William Friedkin, I have a few people lined up that are really good, like big time YouTubers. I think he does too. So hopefully it'll be fun talking about William Friedkin, and it's fun visiting his filmography. Some of the movies I haven't seen before. Of course, he's done some of the best ones. Exorcist, The Sorcerer is one of my favorites. To Live and Die in L.A. is freaking fantastic. The French Connection. I recently watched a few more, but I'm going to watch some of these. I just got one of them is Bug. I don't know anything about it yet with other than what PWM described on one of his videos. Bug with Ashley Judd and Michael Shannon, Harry Connick Jr. And it's just some kind of suspense movie. I won't comment on this. I'm going to save it for the live stream. Okay, so when I was looking for Bug, I saw this other movie called Bug, and I thought I'd pick it up for my boy PWM. And it looks like it's a horror movie with bugs in it. What really caught my attention is that it's directed by my boy Gino Schwark that directed Jaws 2, one of my favorite movies of all time. So I had to get this. Bradford Dillman's in it. Wow, from Piranha. I think that's the guy. Yeah, so Gino Schwark's one of my favorite directors because of that movie. And also, the other one I really like is Somewhere in Time. So I got that. And here's another one I haven't seen, or if I have, I don't remember. Hunted with Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro. So I got the Hunted, and I'll be watching that so we can discuss that. And here's one I did just watch for the first time. This is a great, great movie. Oh, you got to go watch this if you haven't seen it. Killer Joe with Matthew McConaughey. Who else is in there? Oh, Emil Hirsch. I think that's this young guy. I think he played Speed Racer. This guy, Thomas Hayden Church, is in it. Gina Gershon's in here. This is like a trailer park thriller. This is trailer park trash thriller. Man, this is a freaking good movie. I don't know. It might be up there with some of William Friedkin's best movies. You got to watch this. It's so entertaining and so disturbing. I don't want to talk too much about it other than Matthew McConaughey plays a cop, like a really suave, like smooth, like Southern gentleman type cop. He's a detective, and on his side hustle is he's a paid killer, and a trailer park family wants him to kill their mother so they can get inheritance. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so speaking of Matthew McConaughey, I got this on Blu-ray. Interstellar. It's the first time I've ever seen it. What's his name? Christopher Nolan movie. Great movie. The reason why I watched this, I should have watched it long ago because it's a great movie, but some of the kids at work, they consider themselves movie connoisseurs. They're like in their early 20s. I always talk about movies with them at work. They haven't seen Jaws. They hadn't even seen Back to the Future, so I had them watch Back to the Future. They're, oh man, that was a great movie. Like, how can anyone not like Back to the Future? But they hadn't seen Jaws. They're talking about all these directors they like, oh, Christopher Nolan and Tarantino and all this, like, typical stuff like millennials and Zoomers like. I don't know. And that new French guy that does all the movies, they're pretty good. The guy that did Blade Runner. I said, man, you got to watch Jaws. So I had these kids watch Jaws. One of them didn't even watch it. The other kid started watching it. And he says, I tried to watch it, but it's kind of outdated. Like, you uncultured little so-and-so. I got to get him to watch it still. But they told me to watch this, and I did watch it. This is a good movie. If you haven't seen this, check it out. Futuristic space travel movie with wormholes and the end of mankind, the potential end of mankind. A team of astronauts trying to save humanity. It's a lot of deception going on. A really good movie. Really big cast. I didn't realize Michael Caine is in here. And cute little redhead. What's her name? Jessica Chastain. Anne Hathaway's in this. Also, Matt Damon's in here. Kind of reminds me of The Martian because he's stranded out in space for many years, like he is on The Martian. Yeah, cool movie. Kind of reminds, like, the weird twist in here kind of reminds me of like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I think if M. Night Shyamalan had made this, everyone would be talking trash about it, like, fuck him and his little twists and all that. Christopher Nolan, everything he does is awesome. But it kind of reminds me of like an M. Night Shyamalan type weird little twist at the end. Last Blu-ray, now that we're on to the Blu-ray selection, and the last video, the video of the movie, I had to get this on Blu-ray. It's one of my favorite movies. It's from my favorite wrestling movie, and it's probably one of my top favorite movies, probably my top 100 favorite movies, Grunt, the wrestling movie. I had to get this because I didn't have it, and I thought old Adrian Street just passed away, the pro wrestler, the kind of flamboyant guy. He just passed away. I think he was super old, like in his 80s. So I thought, oh, maybe the price of this video is going to go up. No, no one cares. No one knows who Adrian Street is, I guess. But he was one of the wrestlers in this movie that were most prominent. This is a fun movie. It kind of like encapsulates everything that pro wrestling is in like a fake documentary / movie. It's not a documentary. It's kind of like a mockumentary / movie, but a lot of wrestling in it. When I was a kid, I always liked it, but the only thing I didn't care about is I didn't recognize a lot of the wrestlers in there. I saw like Dick Murdoch's in it, and Dan Spivey, and the main guys in here, I didn't know who they were. I think what's his name, Armando Guerrera's in here. There's a cool scene with him. A lot of wrestling in this. It's kind of like a comedy mockumentary / I don't know, wrestling movie about a team of independent filmmakers that are making a movie about wrestling. They're obsessed with this character named The Mask. He's this mysterious new wrestler with a mask. They're following him because they think he's the same guy as another wrestler that is supposedly dead. There's a guy called Mad Dog DeCurso. Mad Dog Joe DeCurso was this wrestler that had a title match many years ago. He had a cute girlfriend that was his manager, and he was wrestling this guy called the Skull Crusher. And the first scene in the movie is like a live airing of the match. It's like in black and white, really cool cinematography. Joe DeCurso, in the end of the match, he knocks Skull Crusher's head off with his move, like he kicks his head off. The head goes flying into the audience, and no one gets the belt, so the belt's vacant for many years. Mad Dog Joe DeCurso gets his mind's messed up after that, and you think he jumps off of the Oakland Bridge and kills himself. So no one's ever seen him. So there's rumors that this new wrestler, The Mask, is Mad Dog Joe DeCurso, and that's what this guy, this independent filmmaker, is trying to prove, that he's The Mask. And he has his tag-along buddy is this really funny character called, his name is Dr. Tweed or something. He's this weird, sleazy little guy that's the head of the Joe is Mask fan club, and he thinks he's gonna strike it rich by proving that the Mask is Mad Dog. So they go on this little adventure. They talk to his girlfriend. They talk to his old wrestling coach. They talk to all the other wrestlers. Along the way, there's all kinds of wrestling matches. They meet up with Adrian Street. They're kind of similar wrestlers. At the end, there's a big battle royal for the belt. It's a really fun, entertaining movie, especially if you like pro wrestling. I would say even if you don't, you would enjoy the humor in this. It's like in the same vein as like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That's what I always think of. Like it really it tickles my funny bone. This movie has, especially with all the funny wrestling references in here. Yeah, there's all kinds of wrestling matches sprinkled into the story. I love this movie. So that's it. Didn't quite take an hour, 40 minutes. Yeah, so thanks for stopping by. Sorry I don't have any more games to talk about. I had fun watching these movies and discussing them. So I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully I find more movies. The end of December, be looking out for PWM's live stream dedicated to the memory of William Friedkin and all of his filmography. Maybe go watch some William Friedkin movies in his honor. Really great director, probably one of my favorites. Yeah, so that's about it. I'll see you guys later.